Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Bianca Boudreau. I'm the Director of Education for Kemon North America. Thank you so much for being here today. Today, we're going to go over all things YoColor system. So let's dive in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. All right. So what's on the agenda for today is we're going to talk about who we are as a company, an overview of all the brands that we carry, YoColor system in total, and then the education pathway. So we're also going to just show you what we have to offer for education in 2025 and beyond, and then how to contact if you need. I get so giddy watching that video. I just think it's so inspiring, and it's why I love showing this video before we dive into anything. It just showcases what Cayman is doing, behind the scenes. And it's so inspiring. And this video is really great because it's the Cayman Fashion Show that happens once every other year in Madrid, Spain. And it is the debut show for our new creative director, Angela Seminara, who is absolutely brilliant. And also, it was showcasing our Sierra creative team, who is another artistic team based out of Madrid, Spain, that work side by side. So again, it's such a great show to start off any education with, just to get us all excited. So I love showing it. So who we are, let's talk about who we are as a company and where we got started. So way back post-World War II Italy, Partino and Amalia Nocentini found themselves not only rebuilding their family, but also their careers. So this was the perfect time for them to set out to fulfill their dreams of creating a company that really valued their employees, valued the earth, but also wanted to create products that were as green as possible, but still performed at the professional level. And so I think that this is really important because they were at the forefront of our industry. They were ahead of the green and clean movement. It really wasn't what was going on and what was trending at the time. And so they really put themselves out there to create and bring forth the sustainability movement, the green and clean movement. And I just think that they're so ahead of their time. And I really do think that they're true innovators of this industry. Some of the core values that we stand behind are true visionary beauty. So we're staying true to our authentic and transparent manufacturing practices, but as well as our formulations and foundational education. And then visionary. Again, we're true innovators of this industry. We're creating new technologies, and we have fun education, but we also include the fashioned reports in our education, because we know that what's trending in fashion is going to trickle down to what our clients are going to want behind the chair. So we really need to stay on top of what's going on in the fashion world. And then beauty. We are supporting the beauty industry with beautiful green and clean formulations that are really easy and for the everyday consumer. So our sustainability efforts. So some of that include our Cayman Open Lab. And what that is our own farm that grows our own botanical ingredients that we use in our Velian complex, but also in our bond creator complex, and that's steps away from our factory. We also run our factory off of 100% green energy, and we use reverse osmosis to purify the water and cool down all of our machinery, which results in zero water waste, which is pretty amazing. And then recycle packaging is super important to us. So we're always striving to create a better way of doing things. So we're always trying to be more eco-conscious in anything that we do. So whether it's from recycled materials to innovative plant-based plastics, our aim is to always preserve the environment and protect our planet.
In November 2022, we started to pack our Kramer hair color range in recycled aluminum tubes, and we aim to extend this trend to all our hair color lines by 2024. Visionary and increasingly sustainable. Our color formulas are enriched with Velian complex, a patented blend of the extracts of 4 medicinal plants organically and locally grown in our open lab. 1 year of production will allow us to save energy equivalent to the yearly consumption of about 120 two-person households. Also, the use of recycled paper materials will enable us to preserve over 50 centennial oak trees. Our manufacturing plants has increased the efficiency of its filling lines within the frameworks of the Industry 4.0 concept. We have implemented environmental labeling for all our product lines to promote greater consumer knowledge and awareness of correct recycling practices. We strive every day for a sustainable future. Kemon, towards a green future.
Again, a beautiful video showcasing our sustainability efforts. And I think it's really great because it's a good visual to show that and to prove that we're doing what we say that we're doing. And the other thing that I really love is the fact that, you know, the number of households that we're preserving energy is just going to go up the more we continue to learn how to do things a little bit better. The number of trees that we're preserving by using recycled materials is just going to go up the more that we find better ways of doing so. So I just feel like it's just so important to showcase that we're really trying to preserve and protect our planet. Some of our partnerships and certifications include we've been a corporate golden donor of the FAI, which is an Italian national trust, since 2014. And in 2015, we were among the founding members of a foundation that is an archaeological arboretum. And basically, it's an ancient orchard that's rich in biodiversity. It's in Città del Castello, about 3 hours north of Rome. And that has about 400 ancient, rare, and tree species that we've been able to find and regrow. And so the aim of this foundation is to not only preserve the agricultural history, but also the architectural history. And so being able to find and regrow is really giving back to the community, really giving back to the history. And you can follow the Arboretum on Instagram to see what they have grown and things that they have done. It's very interesting. And so we also have what's called ISO certifications. ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization. And what that is a pretty prestigious certification to have because it's very hard to get. It's not only really expensive, but you really have to be hold yourself to very, very high standards to be able to achieve it. And not only having one is pretty prestigious, but we have 5. And some of those include the percentage of natural organic ingredients, health and safety, environmental management, good manufacturing practices, and quality management. And so I really feel like these certifications are helping showcase the high quality and the high standards that we're holding ourselves to, but be able to prove it as well. Our patents. So we have our Velian complex, which is our synergistic blend of 4 botanicals, and they provide antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant action on the hair and the scalp. And then we have our bond creator complex. You'll hear us also call this our BCC. So this is a plant-based complex designed to repair the disulfide bonds that get disrupted during the chemical service. And then our new patented alkyl complex. So this is the next generation of complex. It's a unique blend of alkalizers and chelators that help detox the hair of any unwanted minerals that get in the way of our coloring service. So it's a really, really great, innovative new technology. So I want to go in and talk about talk a little bit more about the Velian complex and why it's so important to us. So beautiful. I can't wait to see it all in bloom one day. So from the video, we saw that the complex is made up of mullein, helichrysum, flax, and dyer's chamomile. And while each one of these has its own benefits, when they are working synergistically, it's like a powerhouse. They all explode and they become more beneficial. And so not only do they have soothing, calming, refreshing powers, all those antioxidant properties that we were talking about, but the linseed oil in the flax also has strengthening, it helps to strengthen the hair strand. And so it really is a powerhouse of a complex. And we've seen that it has such amazing results that we have incorporated this complex into everything under the Kemon portfolio, from the activators to the color to the products, you name it, it's in it. And so this really is a backbone of our company. So this is a saying that I've said since the beginning of my work with Kemon, and it says, the beautiful thing about Kemon is that there's something for every type of salon, stylist, and client. So we're going to take a look at our portfolio and see how it differs and see how it can attract all those people. So we have our Kramer color system, which is easy to use traditional hair color that was made back in 1965. We have our Yo color system, which we will talk about today, which is our ammonia-free yogurt-based organic color. We have our Activa Coloro, which is 95% natural. It's a skincare-based color that can also lift through cosmetic color. We have our Lunex system, which is our lightning system that has solutions to lift anywhere from 1 to 2 levels of lift, all the way up to 9 levels of lift. And then our Activa Care, which is our hair care products that have a scalp segment and a hair segment, made with green and clean formulations, super high end, but also up to 96% natural origin. And so we have virtual education that happens every month on all of these topics, but you'll also find any of this information in these YouTube videos that we will be uploading or have already been uploaded. So let's look at the range. Here you'll see our NaYo permanent hair color, our YoGreen demi-permanent, and then our YoCond. Here's our traditional 10 through 40 activators, and then this 6.5 here is going to be what you're going to use for your YoGreen. So what's the technology behind our Yo color system? Well, we the base of our system is yogurt extract. And reason why we chose this is because the lipids in the yogurt help moisturize the scalp and the hair. But yogurt also has probiotics, and that feeds the microflora on the scalp, and it helps create the good microflora and feed the good bacteria to really calm and soothe the scalp. And a little bit further, we have the Velian complex, which we know has calming, soothing, refreshing powers for both the skin and the scalp. But it also has antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant properties in there as well. So this really is just a calming, soothing experience for anybody that has any sort of sensitivities. We have what's called shield technology. Shield technology means that we are preventing premature oxidation so that we can have deeper penetration of the color molecules. So they go farther into the hair cortex before they start to expand and oxidize. So we get deeper penetration for a richer color. We also are ammonia free. So instead of using ammonia, we use a blend of ethanolamines, which allows us to have a gentle and odorless coloring service. We are PPD free, so it helps keep the hair color accessible for anybody who has those allergies, PPD being one of the biggest ones. And then we are fragrance free. So not only is the YoColor system lacking of odor of ammonia, there's also no added fragrance in there. So again, really calming and soothing and perfect for those who have any sensitivities. So what are some of the key features and benefits that we're going to talk about? Well, NaYo is ammonia-free, PPD, and fragrance-free. There's 4 full coverage series that can cover gray hair all on their own. In YoGreen, we're free of ammonia, PPD, resorcinol, and then SLS and SLES are surfactants that are added in that can be really harsh for people who have any sort of sensitivities. We're also free of artificial silicones and fragrance. Our YoCond is just an acid-based conditioner. We do have, for our NaYo, we have our typical 10 through 40. For our YoGreen, we have our 6.5 activator. There's no scalp sensitivity. It's completely dermatologically tested. It allows for incredible shine. We do have a high lift series, which allows for 5 levels of lift on virgin hair. And then we include our sustainable packaging, our tubes, caps, paper boxes, everything is made out of 100% recyclable packaging. So YoColor system. Let's talk about the activators and the mixing ratios, processing times, and how much the lift they can get. So mixing ratios for your permanent hair color 1 through 10 is going to be 1 to 1.5 with your traditional 10 through 40 volume. Your super lighteners are going to be mixed 1 to 2 with 40 volume only. Your YoGreen is mixed 1 to 1.5 with your 6.5 volume. Your YoCond, so your YoCond is just a direct in salon or at home colored conditioner. So you can customize this for anybody to maintain their hair at home. But it can also be retailed to be used at home, but it also can be done in salon for a shine or enhancing service. Excuse me. Our processing times are, so for NaYo, your 10, 20, and 30 volume, you're going to process that for a full 35 minutes. Your 40 volume is going to be anywhere between 35 and 50 minutes. So if you're just doing your typical lifting, you're going to do for 35, but can also be left on up to 50 minutes for the full lift and deposit. You're going to leave it on for 50 minutes when using the super lighteners. And your YoGreen is going to be mixed with your 6.5 volume, and that's going to be left on from 5 to 20 minutes. And then your YoConds are only going to be left on 3 to 5 minutes. And that's going to be in place of your conditioner. So the levels of lift that you're going to expect is your 6.5 volume is just deposit only. Your 10 volume is tone on tone. Your 20 volume is up to 2 levels of lift. Your 30 volume is up to 3 levels of lift, and your 40 volume can get up to 4 levels of lift. And why we say up to is because if you have somebody that has really fine or average hair, you're probably going to get that 4 levels of lift, 3 levels of lift, 4 levels of lift. But for somebody who has a little bit coarser, a little thicker hair, you might not get as much lift. So that's why we like to say up to. Um, and so we want to make sure that you're considering, when you're formulating, you always want to consider your starting level, and count that into how many levels of lift you're needing. And so when I go into salons, sometimes I always ask, if you're going to go from a natural level 5 to a level 7, how many levels of lift is that, and what developer choice would you do? And a lot of people say 20 volume. However, you have to lift through all of the pigment at a level 5, all of the pigment at a level 6, and all of the pigment at a level 7 to be able to fully deposit the tone that you're looking for. So that's actually 3 levels of lift. So you'd actually use 30 volume. And so I want you to think about that concept when we are doing our gray formulations. So one of the special systems that we have is our meshes. So our meshes are our 3-in-1 systems. It's 4 different series. We're going to touch on each one of these in depth in just a minute. So our meshes are a 3-in-1 system, and it's designed to low late, provide extra coverage or more intense coverage for resistant tones. And there's 4 different tones that are available. We have exceptional toning with our YoGreen. And this adjusts the tone and restores the pH, adds softness, shine to previously colored hair and pre-lightened hair. And you're going to mix the YoGreen with 6.5 volume. We have a YoDemi Light and a YoDemi Intense service. So what that is you're able to intermix NaYo and YoGreen with your 6.5 activator to get 50% gray blending, or you can get up to 80% gray blending by doing the YoDemi Intense, which is mixing NaYo and YoGreen with 10 volume. Then you have your YoCond. So your YoCond is just a colored conditioner. It's for instant refresh in salon or at home. You're just going to apply it and let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes, and you're going to replace that with your regular conditioner when needed. So let's go into more in depth about these services and how to formulate. So here is a picture of our NaYo color range. So you can see all of our color families that we have. And then over here, you can see these are our meshes, that special series that we talked about. And then these are our super lighteners. So if you notice, here in our beiges, we have a 5.2 and a 7.2 and a 9.2. We don't have a 6 and we don't have an 8. You can intermix these two and get a 6. You can intermix these two and get an 8. So we try to make it nice and streamlined for you guys so it doesn't take up too much room. So let's break down the coloring, the numbering system and what each number means and how to find it on the color wheel. So we're going to use the example 7.23. So the 7, the first number is going to be responsible for the level. Your level is going to show how light or dark the color is. The first number here after the decimal is going to be your dominant tone. There might only be one number, and that's going to be the tone, the whole tonality. If you have a second number, that is going to be your secondary tone. And this is generally only about a third of the tonality of what you're going to get. However, for this example, we're a level 7 beige gold. So this is a really beautiful, natural, dirty blonde, sandy level 7. And so our 0.2 is our yellow green, which equals beige, but our 0.3 is our gold. So that's where you're going to get a little bit of that correction here, but because it's yellow-green, you're going to get a little bit of that more intensity and beautiful softness with the 3. So this 3 is really enhancing some of the yellow tones in the 2, so it's really making it a beautiful, natural shine. If this was a 7.21, it would be a 7 beige ash. And that 1 would really correct and help enhance the green, which is more correcting tones. So it would be more of an ash tone. So you always want to make sure that you know what each number means so you know where to look for it on the color wheel and how to properly formulate. So that brings me over to knowing what our numbers mean. And so our 0.1 in NaYo is our blue, and that's our ash. Our 0.2 is our yellow green. That is our beige. Our 0.3 is our copper. Our 0.3 is our gold. Our 0.4 is our copper. Our 0.5 is responsible for red tones. Our 0.6 is red violet mahogany. Our 0.7 is our violet, and our 0.8 are blue violet pearl. And so anytime you're looking for your tone, you want to make sure you see where it lives on the color wheel so that you can properly formulate. So let's talk about gray coverage. So in the beginning, we said that there was 4 direct gray coverage colors that can be used on their own with at least 20 volume, and they can cover 100%. So our rule of thumb is if you're less than 50% gray, you don't have to formulate for gray coverage. If you're 50% or more or resistant or coarse, then you want to make sure that you're formulating for gray coverage. So, excuse me, if your target shade is any one of these families, natural, golds, 0.04s, and 0.06, you can use any one of these at the level that you want with 20 volume and cover 100%. Now, if your target color was any one of these colors, then you have to add at least a third of your formula has to be from one of those 4 gray coverage colors. So a third of your formula has to be from one of these. Okay. So how you're going to find what best suits that is, let's take, for example, we're going to take an 834. So if you see this color wheel, we have our brown color wheel on the outside and our chromatic color wheel on the inside. So in the brown color wheel, you have your 0.3s, your 0.04s, your 0.06, and your naturals. These are all the gray coverage colors that we offer. So how you're going to find the gray coverage that best suits your target shade is you're going to find where your target color is. So my 834 is right here. And I'm going to find the gray coverage color that is the closest to it. So that's my 804. So I'm going to have 2/3 834, 1/3 804. Okay. Even if we wanted to be an 844, the closest gray coverage color is still our 0.04s. Okay. Let's say we wanted to be a 6.5. Your gray coverage option is going to be your 0.06s. So the reason why we have these gray coverage options that span the color wheel is so that you can have gray coverage without compromising for the true tonality of your color. So a lot of the times you'll have somebody say, I have a client who wants to be an 8 copper, but I'm just going to use an 8 as my gray coverage color. But that's going to dilute or mute out some of that richness and vibrancy in the copper. So that's why we've created a bunch of these colors that can span the color wheel that give you 100% coverage so you can stay true to tone while covering gray. So we talked about our NaYo meshes. So let's dive in a little bit more with that. So our special series NaYo meshes are 4 pigment-rich shades that repigment and color in one step. So you're going to mix them with 10 or 20 volume activator, and you're going to process it for 35 minutes. So how you're going to choose the how you're going to choose the tone is you're going to stay on level with where you're coloring. So if you're coloring at a level 5, you're going to use the 5.03. If you're coloring at a level 7, you're going to use the 7000. And so um, the reason why they have the tonal families included with it is because at a level 4, you're missing your mahogany tones. At a level 5, you're missing your gold tones. So they're replacing the tones that you're missing to be able to provide a richer and better coverage, a richer color and better coverage. So if these are used in combination with natural 0.3, 0.06, 0.04, these shades increase the level of coverage on even coarse hair. So if you use it in combination with the full coverage colors, it's going to provide extra coverage. If you mix 1/3 of your NaYo mesh to 2/3 of the most appropriate shade, natural gold, mahogany, or natural copper series, you don't want to I'm sorry, let me back up. You don't want to mix more than 2/3 of the NaYo mesh into your formula. You don't want to exceed 1/4 of your formula. Because it has a lot of warmth, you don't want to overproduce that warmth. So let's talk about our super lightener series. So these NaYo super lighteners, these are 5 shades that lighten 4 to 5 levels of lift and deliver luminous pastel blondes. So these are going to be for natural hair, natural base levels 5 to 7. You're going to mix them 1 to 2 with 40 volume only and processed for 50 minutes. So we have our 1000 series, which is responsible for natural tones. Your 1001 gives you ash tones. Your 1002 gives you beige tones. Your 1003 gold tones, and your 1007 violet tones. So you're going to choose the most appropriate super lightener for your formulation to help enhance or combat any unwanted or undesired tones. The ideal base to achieve a level 10 is on a level 6. And again, you don't want to exceed 1.5 centimeters off scalp. You really want to make sure that this does not exceed that so that we can prevent any lines of demarcation. Okay, so with all of that, let's try to formulate. So we have our natural contributing pigment chart here. So we have, you can see our shades that are associated with our level 1 through 10. And then we have on the right, what is our natural contributing pigment. So what is the pigment or tonality that's responsible for each level when you're lifting? So this is a chart that you really need to know when formulating. So how do we formulate? Well, you need these 5 things you need to know in order to properly formulate. You need to know the natural starting level, the target level, the target color, the gray percentage, and you need to know the natural contributing pigment at your target level. With all of these, you're going to be able to properly choose your color choice and your activator choice. So we talked about this sample formula a little bit ago. We talked about if you were going from a natural level 5 to a level 7, and we were talking about how you really have to account for your starting level. So you have to start level 5 through a level 6 through a level 7. Each finger that I put up is going to be a developer choice. So I'm actually going through 3 levels, so I need a 30 volume. In this particular formulation, we are a natural level 5. Our target level is a 7, but we want to be neutral cool. We don't have any gray present, and we know that from that chart that your natural contributing pigment at a level 7 is orange. So if we want to be neutral cool, we really need to choose something that's across the color wheel that's going to combat that orange. So since we're not covering gray, our 7.81 with our 30 volume mixed 1 to 1.5 is going to be the best formula for that. Now, if we had the same formula, but we have gray coverage, that's going to change it just a little bit. So again, you're going to want to choose the best gray coverage color that's closest to your target color. So we're still going to do our 7.81, but we need at least 1/3 of a gray coverage color, and that's going to be our 7. So we're going to do 10 grams of 7, 20 grams of 781, mixed 1 to 1.5 with 30 volume. And you're going to get a beautiful neutral cool level 7 and 100% gray coverage. Now, if I had chosen to only use 20 volume, then what you're going to see is you're going to see that the level 5 hairs lifted to a level 6 and probably stayed a little warm. And then your gray hairs were going to be a neutral cool level 7. And when you look at those two together, you're going to think immediately it didn't cover. When in actuality, you didn't lift high enough to look like a level 7. You didn't lift and deposit full enough to be at level 7. So that's why it's going to look off. So you really need to make sure that you're choosing the right developer for the lift that you need in order to get the proper result. Okay, so here's a formula. We're using the same formula, and right now we have super resistant coarse hair. So we're going to involve our meshes. So again, we're a natural level 5. We want to be a cool neutral 7. We have gray coverage, but it's resistant. So we might need some of those meshes. So we're going to do 10 grams of 7, 10 grams of 781, and 10 grams of 7D00. We did not exceed a quarter of our formula, so we're good. And so we have mixed 1 to 1.5 with 30 volume. Now, let's talk about when you have 100% white. So if I have somebody who comes in and she's white, she wants to be a neutral level 7, we know that the natural contributing pigment at a level 7 is not, there's no need to formulate for that because we're 100% white. Okay. So if we were just going to use a cool level 7, you might be too cool and too ashy. So we want to add just a small amount of warmth in there to stay on the neutral side. So we're going to add 7 and 7.3 with just 20 volume because we're not lifting. We're just going to use the 20 volume to cover gray 100%, and you're going to get a beautiful neutral result. So again, this is the formula that had the resistant whites. Now this is 100% resistant white. We have our white hair where we want to be a level 7. We want to be a warm level 7, but again, 100% resistant white hair. So we're actually going to have a 7.3 because we want to be warm, and we're going to add the 70,000 with the 20 volume. And that's going to help you with the resistancy because 7.3 is a great coverage color on its own, but because it's resistant, we want to add that 70,000 in there. And then for this formula, we are going to talk about the Kemon rule of 30. So what the Kemon rule of 30 is we're going to take this same formula, 100% white. We want to be a level 7. We want to be a neutral level 7, but we have 100% resistant hair. If you are not going to, if you have resistancy and you can't cover with just a 20 volume on level, then what we say is that you can drop a level and add 30 volume. And that's called the Kemon rule of 30. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drop it down to a 6. We're going to do a 6 and a 6.3 because we want it to be neutral. And we're going to use 30 volume. And that's going to help cover your resistant grays. at 100% and give you a really neutral level 7. So again, that's called the Kemon rule of 30. The other really great thing about our formulations is you don't have to use just one thing. There's more than one option for lots of things. Or sorry, there's more than one option for formulating. So for this example, we're a natural level 7. We want to be a level 8 copper. We do have gray. We know that our natural contributing pigment at a level 8 is yellow-orange, which is going to work for us. So we don't need to combat that. We need to enhance that. And so our formula could be our gray coverage color, which is our 804, with our 8-4, so 1/3 to 2/3 with 20 volume, mix 1 to 1.5. Or we could do 8.3, which is another gray coverage option, our 8-4-4, mixed 1 to 1.5. And that's going to give us another 100% coverage and really enhancing those copper tones. So this is where the creativity comes into play. Nothing is one size fits all. So as long as you know how to formulate, how to choose your color, how to choose your activator, you can really fly and soar and be super creative and customizable for your clients. So this is a high lift sample color. We have our natural level 6. We want to be a level 10, but we want to be neutral cool. There's no gray. We know that at our natural contributing pigment at a level 10 is pale yellow. So we can choose either our 1001, which is our ash tones, or our 1007, which is our violet tones. You can choose one of those, mixed 1 to 2 with 40 volume, let it process for 50 minutes, and you're going to get a beautiful level 6 all the way up to a level 10 neutral cool result on your regrowth. So I hope that helps you guys with the formulating aspect. Now let's move on to our YoGreen formulations. So here is our color swatch chart for our YoGreen. You can see these are all the families that we have. We have all of our 10 series here, and we call those our pastel blondes. So you can see this goes up to 9, this goes up to 9. So anything in our 10 range is here. It's our 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.42, 10.7, 10.71, and 10.73. We also have a 0.0, which is going to help dilute any color, or used alone, it's going to enhance the shine. So on their own, our YoGreen colors are perfect for toning. But again, we do have gray blending options. So we talked about our YoDemi Light service. Our YoDemi Light is intermixing YoGreen and NaYo, 50 grams of YoGreen to 10 grams of NaYo with 6.5 volume on dry hair for 20 minutes can give you up to 50% gray blending. This is also really great because it's going to blend, but without giving you a regrowth touch-up commitment. So it's really not going to give you a line of demarcation. Then we have our YoDemi Intensive. So this is going to give you up to 80% gray blending. So again, we're going to mix YoGreen and NaYo, but we're going to mix 40 grams of YoGreen to only 20 grams of NaYo with 10 volume on dry hair for 35 minutes. Once the time is up, you're going to emulsify and rinse thoroughly and then shampoo with the shampoo of your choice. So any of these series, like we were talking about, is going to be a beautiful tone, add luster, add shine. But the special series that we just talked about, the Intensive and the YoDemi Light, can do those gray blending options that YoGreen cannot do on its own. Now we have our blonde series, so our pastel mesh blondes that we were talking about. So we do have our 0.0, which is used on its own to add luster and shine without changing the color or the level. It also can be intermixed with any shade to soften the intensity with providing more shine. And then any one of those 10 level series that I talked about, they can be used on highlighted or previously lightened hair to provide a beautiful pastel um, blondes to tone any one of your clients. Okay, so let's do some sample formulas. We're gonna I'm just want to explain the YoDemi Light Service and the YoDemi Intense. So if we were a natural level 4, we wanted to stay a level 4, we wanted to be a warm level 4, but we had 50% gray, and we just wanted to blend that out a little bit. We know that our natural contributing pigment at a level 4 is red, and so that can work towards our favor. So we're going to do 50 grams of level 4 to 4, and that is just YoGreen is not going to, there's no gray coverage. So our gray coverage is going to come from the NaYo, and we're only using 10 grams of our gray coverage series, which is our 406 is our warm brown with 6.5 volume, and that's going to give you up to the 50% gray blending. If you want up to 80% gray blending, then you can use the YoDemi Intense. So here we have our level 6. We want to stay a level 6. We want to be neutral cool, but we want to blend out that 75% gray. We know that at a level 6, you're orange red. So we need something to combat that orange red. So we're going to use a level 6 YoGreen, and then our correction color, our 6.8, is going to come from our NaYo, and then we're going to use 10 volume. So you can see that the YoGreen is mixed 40 grams to 20 grams. Yes, sorry, 40 grams to 20 grams, and then mixed with 10 volume. All right, so let's move on to YoCond. So this is the last segment in our YoColor system, and these are a color enhancing colored conditioner that can be customized to enhance any color or help correct any unwanted tones in between services. The processing time for the YoCons is 3 to 5 minutes. I'm sorry, 3 to 10 minutes. And the longevity, it's only going to last about 3 to 5 shampoos. So what you want to do is you want to replace your regular conditioner with one of these if you're needing to add luster or shine back to your color. Again, you can customize it to match anybody's color, or you can give them one that's going to help correct or maintain their color in between services. So some of the colors that we have different benefits. And so I wanted to show you a chart that shows you what the before and after is on a level 9 or 10 or naturally white hair so that you can see how the results will perform. So our platinum is responsible for neutralizing yellow tones. It's ideal for level 9 or 10, and it really helps maintenance for like beiges, beige gold, golds, 3/7, 7/3s, and also the 7/8s and the super lighteners. So anybody that wants to neutralize some yellow, this is going to be for them. So you can see here, this is the result on a level, this is the before on a level 9 and a level 10. This is after one use with low porosity, and then after on high porosity. So you can see how when it's higher porosity, it has a little bit more intensity to it. So this is just for your average yellow tones. If you really want more yellow neutralizing or more intense silver effects for gray-white hair, you're going to use the silver. So the silver, again, here is your before level 9, 10, and gray-white on low intensity. And then you can see the results on high intensity. So they really do pack a good punch depending on what you use. if you have higher percentage of porosity, and even if you have low percentage of porosity. But again, these are not going to last more than 3 to 5 shampoos. So this is a really great non-committal hair care at home treatment or in salon. Your lilac is ideal to create lilac effects. Your pink is beautiful for pastel pinks. Your honey is to enhance or brighten any golden tones. Your beige can soften yellow tones, but it also creates neutral balance for some of those people who tend to skew a little warm. We have our copper. It helps intensify copper tones, our reds, and our violets help intensify any of those tones. So I want you to see here. This chart shows you what it looks like on a level 6, a level 7, a level 10, and to intensify red tones that are already there. So if you have somebody that's already red, but you want to just intensify that, this is a really great way to do so because you can see just the vibrancy that it gets just after one use. And so this is what it's like on low porosity, this is what it's like on high porosity. So same thing with your violets. Your frosted chestnuts over here, your frosted chestnut is great for neutralizing any warmth that people don't want to see. So I like to use this on people who are brunettes who really don't like warmth and really like to keep that neutral effect, especially in the summertime. And then our chocolates is to help vivid chocolate shade illuminate the warm tones. So, one thing that I didn't say about the YoCons is that they can be done in salon, but they also can be retailed as a as a retail product. And so the price of that is going to depend on the average price of your conditioner. It's a 4-ounce bottle that you're going to get. You can decide whether you want to give the client a fully diluted bottle of conditioner or a semi-diluted bottle of conditioner. No, I'm sorry, full strength bottle of conditioner or a diluted bottle of conditioner. And it's all going to depend on how often that they use it. So you don't want to give it full strength to somebody who is going to overuse it. It does have direct dyes in it, so it could just take a little bit longer to fade out. So, yeah, it's a great retail product. I honestly would recommend giving it to every single one of your clients, especially if they have a color that they want to maintain in between services. So let's finish up here and let's just go over all the things of why we love the YoColor system. So one, we're free of ammonia, PPD, fragrance, and then and then YoGreen, we're also free of resorcinol, surfactants, artificial silicones. It's just amazing for anybody that has any sort of sensitivities. Our yogurt extract is great for providing probiotics that protect the scalp and add proteins and strength to the hair fiber. We have our organic Valium complex. Again, it's great for soothing, calming, and strengthening of the hair shaft. This is a soothing experience. So our choice of ingredients makes this the most spa-like experience and really gentle for the hair and the scalp. So it's very rejuvenating. And then we love that it's a synergistic system. So we're able to use 3 different things that work together to help to maintain the hair on both the regrowth, the mid shafts, and the ends, and all over. So everything can be intermixed, and I just think that that's such a beautiful way of being able to provide multiple services for your clients to be the most customizable. And then last but not least, our innovative shield technology. Again, that prevents premature oxidation, so it allows us to penetrate deeper into the cortex with more molecules to be able to provide a richer and more vibrant color. Okay, so that was the end of the presentation. And I did want to just go over the education pathway with you guys. I want to tell you a little bit about what we have to offer here in 2025 and beyond. So, what in salon care looks like is we have not only scalp care classes, hair care, health care classes, PK classes, but we also do cutting and styling in salon. We also have in salon color. So, we have educational look and learns, hands on. We can help you become a master colorist with 6+ hands on or look and learn classes that you can offer or that we offer. And then we have our creativity. So these are academy style classes where we show you the latest trends, techniques, really high profile classes with lots of people in the academy. So our education pathway, if you are new to this color, you're going to request a demo. We'll come in and show you how the color works and how it covers. And then once you decide to bring it on, we will send somebody into your salon and stay with you for the day. And that's called an install, where you have clients that you're going to be able to transfer your old color to your new color, and we'll have somebody stay with you the whole time to help you do so. If you need a follow-up after that, we can provide a follow-up to help any troubleshooting that you may need. And then we have expert and master classes with any fundamental look and learns in both blonding and color. So let's see who to contact if you need. So there is Kate Bowser. She is my co-director. She's been with Kemon for a very long time. I am the director of education. Together we've been working together for over 10 years now. We're a great duo. So if you need anything, please feel free to contact her at Kate B at Solve Beauty Brands. Or this number here, you can call and set up a meeting with her. If you have any questions that are directly related to education, you can feel free and email me at Bianca B at Solve Beauty Brands. You can also get in touch with me on Instagram at Bianca Andrea Education. That Instagram page is dedicated to just educating and providing you information with how to get education and new up and coming things that we have to offer at Kemon USA. And then we also have our Kemon USA Facebook page, which is Kemon USA double backslash hashtag Kemon culture, and then our KemonUS.com website. So on the website, you can create a free profile, and that will take you to the hub where you can access any of our easy guides, which is uh, it's our books to tell you how to use the color. It has all the information that that you'll need for each segment. And then we also have that in the Facebook group as well. But the Facebook group is really our community to ask questions, share your posts, just be in community with other Kemon users. And then we also have our YouTube channel, which you'll find this video here. We have other tutorial videos and other classes that we offer. We are still doing our live virtual in classes once a month. And so these classes will also be uploaded here. So if you have anybody that wants a little bit of information, please send them to me or send them over to the YouTube channel, and then we can give them any additional help after that. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to follow us on social media at KemonUSA.com. I'm sorry, Kemon USA, but also Kemon Official. That is the official website, the official Instagram of the Italian team. So thank you so much for being on here with me today. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you guys soon.